Welcome back to another episode of Unranked Podcast. You have your hosts, Grant and Elijah. Ain't really much more to say except
Game week.
it's that time of year. We've been waiting on this for a good little minute, and it's finally upon us. Got East Carolina on the clock. Also going to touch on, Harbaugh and that suspension self-imposed by Michigan. Definitely dive into that. And talk about that in depth and our thoughts around it. Actually going to pivot to that now. So, Eli, I'm going to throw it to you, man. I want to just, hear about your thoughts on the suspension. We, thought the NCAA, they kind of threw it at us and took it back, thought we was in the clear, and then we decided to, self-impose one. So I just want to kind of hear your thoughts on, just that situation, how it's transpired so far.
So I could not disagree more with the self-imposed suspension of Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Just does not make sense to me, no matter which angle you look at it from. It seems like you went to bat with him or for him against the NCAA, and then you turn around and basically handed him the same suspension that he would have received anyway. With no big difference between 3 games and 4 games. So I just completely disagree with the suspension. I don't understand why you look like you will go to bat with him and then kind of do a rug pull from it over him. I think it's kind of more so like an ego move or a power move by Ward Manuel. I just can't wrap my head around why you would do that. The only way I could look at it, the only thing I could come up with is it was try to be a power move from the AD, and he's going to say, I'm putting Harbaugh in check, and I have the power over you, even if the NCAA doesn't. That's kind of the only way I can wrap my head around what they're possibly thinking, because I think you don't suspend. If the NCAA decided not to suspend him, there's no reason for you to come down with almost an equal as hard suspension. And I'll say all this to say this is going to kind of undermine my whole argument, but if maybe in my wildest dreams, I could see suspending him for 1 game as an institution if you wanted to, just to say, hey, you put smut on our name, you put smut on this program. There was kind of some funny stuff happening. Here's a little 1 game suspension, chill out for a second. I guess looking at it now, I could somehow rationalize that. But the 3 game suspension seems overly harsh. And I ultimately think, and I hope he walks out holding the championship trophy. But I ultimately think this is probably going to push Harbaugh out of the program. I think he's not a guy that takes these type of things lightly. He seems like a guy who, is loyal to the school, loyal to the program, had his pick of the poison as far as whether he wanted to stay in the NFL, whether he wanted to pick any college he could have went to. He came to us when we were down. He's hung out here year after year after year. And then for you to suspend him when he has his best team, a running machine, is like, who you working for? This kind of where the self-interest. You do good when Harbaugh does good, we would think. Unless you have an ego. And that's kind of what I'm looking towards. I think the athletic department probably has a bit of an ego towards Harbaugh and want to kind of kick him off his high horse.
Just for comparison, Urban Meyer got suspended in 2018 for 3 games. You want to know what he did? He mishandled domestic violence accusations made against one of his former assistant coaches. And Harbaugh getting 3 games for some hamburgers.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
Mishandled is a very, very nice way of saying he covered it up.
Yep, covered it up, turned his head, looked away, act like he didn't hear about it. So yeah, just for context. But yeah, no, I think my opinion on it is I feel like Ward Manuel thought that he might be doing like this whole situation a favor and suspending him so that it's like, okay, we know this NCAA was supposed to suspend him and they pulled it back. We're just going to do it so that we can just get it over with and just kind of move on with the season. But I don't think he thought about I mean, you already had Harbaugh to take a pay cut. He wasn't really, coaching as well, the first few years here. You know, there's been some back and forth with Ward Manuel and Harbaugh around NIL stuff, and just some issues. I think just admissions here and there. Not so much as like his basketball's had on that side of things, but I think there's some stuff that like Ward Manuel's kind of gotten in front of, what I'm saying, gotten in the way of, and just kind of done different things to where it's like, man, like now he's gone. I am 100% convinced Harbaugh is like gone after this season. He already been flirting with the NFL, last couple of years, just because Manuel is continuing to, do different things. I'm hoping that Ono can maybe step in, at some point and, kind of, I don't know, to try to fix this or something like that. It's eventually going to happen regardless, but I just kind of hope from here we can try to repair things going forward. I love to have Harbaugh say for a couple more years, we get a few more cracks at it, but I just look at the reality of the situation. I don't think he's going to be here much longer. I don't think he's going to be here past this year. I think overall, this has just fueled a fire in him. I'm hoping I think we're going to end up getting like San Fran Super Bowl run Harbaugh. We're going to get the outspoken. We're going to get the one that, like really making teams like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's really gonna be just getting. I think it's gonna be like a revenge tour type deal, and trying to turn it into a potential national championship ride off in the sunset, happily ever after, and kind of just finish what he started essentially. So
yeah, no, I can agree with you on the fact that I do think Harbaugh is going to use this as fuel, and kind of fight, and the team will as well. But that also I can't agree with you enough that Harbaugh is. I mean, this is a slap in the face. This is
he called it a bat to the kneecaps.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same deal there. As far as just, I'm fighting tooth and nail every single day to go get players, to come up with the playbook, to develop these guys, and the players are as well. To keep up with the school and to work ethic, and outside of all of that, to extra film and all, and for you to just undermine all of that because you want to have an ego trip and a power trip, just doesn't make sense. And this is, and I don't know, not that you should play favoritism when teams are good or bad, but this is one of the best teams that we have had. And if the NCAA doesn't think it's a suspendable offense, then
why do we?
Why do we have to step in? And with something almost as equally as harsh. And just to touch on what you said, as far as I guess technically the NCAA said that they are going to just kind of put this on ice for a while. I don't know if they said it's a closed case, which is back to what you said, as far as, hey, we're going to go ahead and suspend them a little bit, see what happens. But I'm willing to play. I'm willing to risk that. If I'm Harbaugh team, these infractions are going to look that much worse if you try to suspend me next season. You're going to try to suspend me 4 games at the start of next year for some burgers that I bought in COVID of 2020. That's one of those day after day, month after month, this case looks weaker and weaker and less serious.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm willing to roll the dice on if I'm them.
And I look at it too, like, why can't we're going to send $2 million fine, like a $2 million fine, 100,000, I don't know, maybe a $2 million. I don't know what that looks like. Extreme. I know that Tennessee got suspended, or excuse me, Tennessee got fined like $8 million for literally passing out bags of money, in like fast food bags of money to like parents. So like, why, if we want to step in that bad, why can't we just, all right, we're just going to pay, can we pay a fine? You know what I'm saying? Like something. I don't know if that's an option. I'm just, what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like brainstorming. Like, I feel like there's other ways around this. You said one game, one half. You know what I'm like?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I was about to reiterate the one game thing, which I don't agree with. But if you want to play the game of, hey, we did it, we handled it on our own. Yeah, we did it internally. You don't need. Then the NCAA almost cannot come back next year and say, "Oh, well, here's 2 more games. You had a 1 game spent. Here's 3 more games." That's just not going to happen. So then that's how you get. That's how you get kind of the best of both worlds. Yeah, he gets a 1 game suspension, which doesn't really mean shit, but he also really did serve a suspension. So what are you going to do about it? And that's kind of how that maybe with a compensation package.
Yeah.
and you go from there. I just
Right.
think these 3 games are, um, I don't want to just keep saying it, but it's just a ego trip. It's a power
Witch
drive, and
hunt. That's all.
and I don't know why you do that internally. Who, it almost
Like I
makes
said,
me question: are you in here for the same reasons? Like you, I know athletic. The AD has in his job, War Mayo has lots of different jobs, making
yeah,
money, managing the money, all that stuff. But it ultimately, your biggest money maker, your biggest product that you have as an entity is Michigan football,
yeah.
and that powers the whole train. Um, and
Truly
without a
believe.
basketball team looking, it'll power that basketball team here soon. So you get, this is the best thing you got cooking, and it's a cash cow, and Harbaugh is your most touted coach in all of the Big Ten and almost all of college football. Probably
Top
he's
five
second
coach.
to a couple, and and you're gonna push that away.
Yeah.
And then ultimately you're going to get pushed out because everything else suffers because the football team rattles back down in 8-9 wins, and that you're bringing in 50-60 million on football team alone. Now that's coming in closer to 30 or 40. I mean, everything halts, and it all starts with you and your ego. So I just don't know why you would do that, but I don't want to harper too much on that. I mean, um, um, upon game week, I'm cooking.
Mhm.
I think Jesse Minster is the coach this coming up week for East
Yep.
Carolina. Excited to see what he can do. I'm saying this jokingly and knocking on woods, obviously cocky, but I think me and you could probably run the show this weekend. It's not. If you want to win, put Blake in. It's a little bit of cooking.
We run the power to the
Yeah.
cows.
Like, Coach, Blake got 46 carries, make it
JJ be
47.
sick. That ball, we throwing 10 passes. JJ be sick. No, that's no, for real though. No, I mean, but that's really like what it feels like it should be. You know what I'm saying? We have all these expectations. We're gonna be number 1 team, number 2 team in the country. And yeah, I mean, I think let's kind of dive in here as far as around the offense and just having some of the keys to the game. I know he's gonna kind of touch on that a little bit. Um, I think it really is get in and get out. I think we got to have a pretty, insurmountable lead. 30, 28, 4 touchdowns, couple field goals, whatever by half. I think we were favored by like 30. So I think we gotta really come in, put the foot on the pedal. And it's really like do it for Harbaugh. I mean, I think that's, the motivation is there to just not come in here and not be playing around. And I want to see, Alex Orji and, some of these other guys, late third quarter getting in and getting theirs too, against all 3 of these teams. But yeah, obviously you're going to focus on one in the front right now. I think it's for me, I think it's simple from an offense standpoint, get in, execute, and get out. That's really just where I'm at with it overall. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Keep it simple. I don't want to see nothing too crazy. Obviously the D coordinator's running the show, so I'm sure he has a defensive mindset anyway, as far as
yeah,
pounding the rock, play action, keeping it simple. Um, for
QB
what
coach is calling
influence
the plays.
yeah, okay, yeah, I'm saying for what influence he has on everything, the structure of it all. I'm sure it's probably more or less here's the playbook, just run this. But uh, I can't imagine this getting too crazy. And I agree with you. Things I really want to see, or I'm looking forward to seeing, is big plays down the field from JJ. I want to see them. I want to build that confidence early. I want to see a couple of 40-yard plus bombs
Yeah.
with confidence, accurate, hit a receiver in stride, a la the couple of plays he had versus Ohio. I want to see that. That needs to be a reoccurring theme throughout the year.
Just lighting people up once or
Yeah,
twice a game.
light people up, and it starts with the building the confidence. Now he didn't even hit one of them until mid-October, late October of last year. So if he can hit a couple of them now, get that confidence going, get that chemistry down with the receivers, that's something I'm looking forward to. I want to see who is out there in the various receivers positions. I don't want to say this, but more or less it's going to be a lot of kind of no names for now. They kind of still kind of earned their household name. I know we got Cornelius Johnson at the top. We got Loveland at tight end. Outside of that, it's a couple of question marks.
Bro, Roman Wilson, he wearing the number 1 this year.
No, I didn't know that.
He rocking it.
Yeah.
He kind of came on a little later on in the season. Like he showed up that big in that TCU game.
Roman, it was big to get Roman Wilson back. And I think him and Cornelius Johnson, great. I don't know. They're not necessarily ones, and so it'll be interesting to see who kind of can come and emerge, whether that's Loveland, and his big playability, or whether some of these other guys. I wrote down a couple of names, just watching other YouTubers, reading a couple of things. Watch the thing about the depth chart. The names that kept popping up as far as the second, third receivers on that list would be Tyler Morris, Darius Clemens, and then your boy O'Leary. Were the names that were kind of popping up over and over again. So that's kind of want to see, one of those guys kind of begin to emerge sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I'm not going to talk too much more on offense, but outside of that, just how we're going to find a way to balance the two-headed monster in the backfield. How exactly that looks. Are we going to have both of them back there a lot in unique situations? Or are we just trotting one off, and pick your poison that way? It's going to be kind of interesting to see how we balance that all out and kind of keep it evenly spread. Because I imagine they're going to be trying to go hit for hit. If I'm Edwards and I go ahead and bust a 50-yarder off, Donovan on that bench, like, goddamn, I can give, that's supposed to be mine, So then you kind of get that back and forth, that friendly competition from the same position, which is going to be a headache for the defense.
For sure. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's just really gonna come down like executing. I think they go. We probably gonna see 2-4 backs. We'll probably end up seeing. Bless you. Probably end up seeing like 5-6 different receivers. That I'm thinking that's gonna really be. We had the starters in there. Probably be like Wilson, Johnson. Like Lovely at tight end, and then like probably let's see a lot of them other guys kind of trickle in. To the mix. As we get later on into the game, but. Yeah, would love to see. I saw some things around it's a running back and what's that looking like. CJ Stokes has unfortunately kind of fell out of the mix, but it sounds like Khalil Mullins is starting to be a little bit of a better RB3, and also Benjamin Hall. That's one of the freshmen. I guess I heard he's starting to kind of really, really emerge. So wonder if we'll see Cole Cabana. I wonder if that'll be, see him running around a little bit, maybe returning kicks or something like that. But yeah,
sure we'll see him on the bench.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I know he's supposed to be electric. I know. Now would be the time because you could play what 4 games or something and still keep
eligible in the postseason. So yeah, it'll be nice to kind of just see what he got. Be able to run around a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of just making a transition over to defense now. This is where I think this is where the championship is won. This is where I care so much more about the ball, this side of the ball, than offense. Because they have offense, they're gonna do what they do. You know what I'm saying? At the best O-line in the country. Top 5 quarterback in my opinion in the country. You got 2 top 5 running backs. In the backfield. So I just feel like defense. I mean, last year we kind of the pass rush we were kind of figuring that out still a little bit. A little bit earlier on in the season, but able to kind of stabilize some solid players. Sound like this year we got 4 edge rushers that'll be really rotating. McGregor, Harrell, Moore, and Josiah Stewart from Coastal Carolina. It sounds like those are the ones that kind of separate themselves. So I'll just be looking forward to just seeing like how they what they do and how they put their stamp on the game to kind of kick things off. But we gotta just take away the run, first and foremost, turn them one-dimensional immediately. Shorten them, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, so that offense get the ball back in their hands and just, get points on the board. Because on the same side of that, we already got Makari Page and Rod Moore banged up, probably won't play. We're starting 2 sophomores at safeties as the safety positions. They're 4-star guys. I think one of them, Keon Saab, was supposed to be going to Clemson. So he, had some offers from Georgia, Alabama, like a lot of them big time schools. Actually decommitted. Yeah, decommitted from Clemson. And then, circled back. So we got to make sure we handling business. We're not putting ourselves in no weird situations. Like,
Agreed.
as
I
the game
just want
go on.
to touch on him real quick. Keon Saab. It's funny you said that. I read an article. This is before we learned about a couple of the starters getting banged up. I read an article, I think it was from like August 12th or something, that said Harbaugh was very impressed with how he came on, former 5-star player, kind of catching his groove. So it's good to see that article was released prior to him having to step into the limelight.
Yeah.
That he was already putting into work, and they're not just saying these things as like
who is this?
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's more like, okay, Harbaugh brought him up a few weeks ago. Like,
yeah. So that was good. His IMG kid, so he's probably on the team that beat the shit out of Bishop.
I think he probably was being serious.
But no.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I agree with you. And the defense is so funny because it's odd that we feel better about the offense, and I don't necessarily feel better about the offense. It's just one of those things where typically speaking, the defense is the soothing part of the team. Like they're the most consistent. And even when they end up being our Achilles heels 3-4 years back, it was the most consistent thing we had going throughout the year. So, but just that's something I love about our team is we're pumping out defenders. Defense is very legit. And just some of the, you touched on all the big boys. I guess just to what name like Junior Colston, another guy I've been hearing a lot about, future NFL dude. Mason Graham, he had sprinkles last year, and just to see, I'm ready to see him in a full-time spot. He's kind of a freak.
Start the whole
really.
year.
Yeah.
So year. Freshman.
Big boy Kenneth Grant, he I've been seeing videos of him. He stood out. I can't think of my man that goes to visit all those colleges on YouTube, but
destroying.
Yeah. He was all in that video last year, or whatever. He just stood out as like a 6'5", 330 freshman. Yeah. So and that might be underselling it a little bit. Overall, I'm Mike Standerstill. I know we talked about him before. Just solid people spread throughout the defense.
We just casually forgot about I forgot about Chris Jenkins, who might be a top 10 pick.
Exactly. We didn't even have to mention him. That's how loaded we are.
Yeah, it's nuts. And what I love, not to cut you off, but just like the depth. Yeah. Like I'm hearing, we got like freshmen, like I heard the name Samaj Bridgman, linebacker. I've heard that he, has been doing playing pretty well because we got guys that came in camp. They already been through spring ball, so like,
right.
Some of these guys are a little more sped up, a little bit more developed.
Agreed.
But yeah,
I think he's a redshirt freshman, but Zeke Berry had another little article talking about him and how he's busy, real ball active. We got some players spread out, and this isn't necessarily, I guess what. No, it's not a defensive player, but something we haven't talked about at all is the absence of our back-to-back award-winning kicker. So, just how losing Moody and just a sure foot from like really like 50 in. And I did a little research. Look, I remember seeing it come across a ticker, back in the spring. But we got James Turner, a senior transfer from Louisville. Mm-hmm. He looks very sure-footed. He had a 50-yarder last year, I think said 3 48-yarders, a 38-yard game winner. So it looks like he's been put through the ringer a little bit, like a 3 or 4 year starter at Louisville. So just somebody that, obviously I don't expect him to be Moody, but that any pressure that hey, when in doubt, if we can kick it from 40 in, that's going with our defense, keep racking those points up. That's something that you got to have in your back pocket. And just how great Moody was. I mean, like you probably the best kicker I've seen at Michigan. Really, I mean, the dude was amazing. And so just to know that we got another guy that seems pretty sure-footed, been in some pressure situations, made me feel pretty good about that. But yeah, he
And
I wanted to
then,
give him a little shout out just because
for sure.
whether you never know when, but I mean you might need that kicker every now and then. I mean,
At least
you do need him every now and then, but you might really need him. Like
we need at least 8 to 10 big ones this year, like some big situations. You know what I'm saying? Like I think
just
our
some
offense,
big points before half. Some
yep.
kind of back against the rope. We just need these three. Whatever. I agree.
Like I think if we offense should just be able to sustain some more drives, you know what I'm saying? Get, a couple more touchdowns in here and there. But yeah, you hit it right on the head just before half, maybe to win a game. It's like 6-0 or something, and we just need, you know what I'm saying, to get some points on there to kind of just let everybody take a deep breath, you know what I'm saying, as we get to these bigger games against Penn State, Ohio, having to go to Maryland end of the year. Yeah, I mean, I like everything I'm hearing just on all sides of the ball. Even heard, I don't know if it sounded like you might mention this, but I think we got like a pretty solid punter too. Honestly, I mean, it's like Harbaugh, I've been hearing him say, I'm blanking on the name right now, unfortunately, but I remember Harbaugh saying like he's probably one of the better kickers he's had or he's seen in a very long time. So
Doman, Tommy
yeah,
Doman, yeah.
We know Harbaugh like to, he like to gas up a little bit, but he do be right at the same time. Like it don't, he ain't far off.
He poured a little lighter fluid on it, but
Right, but it's yeah. It
no,
already
I agree,
be.
and I guess that's the one thing I want to rehash. We both talked about it. I talked about it a few weeks back, but I want to make sure we keep that grit underdog mentality where use the Harbaugh suspension. If whatever use the bulletin board material, whatever that may be, week in and week out. We hung out this weekend and we were in the vicinity of some state fans. And I don't even like how well they're talking about us. Like I just don't.
Right.
Yeah, like
everybody gotta chill.
Yeah, you gotta chill. Like I want that hate. I want the hate coming from you. I don't.
I already told you, like
the real hate is better than the fake love. So
100%. I already told you, I'm like, and I'm probably getting a little too extreme, but after Saturday at noon, I don't even want to see Diamond Edwards runs no more. I don't want to see nothing. Because now
I
it's
legit,
like, okay,
but I legit do see that on my timeline on an almost daily basis.
Every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, are we a real powerhouse or what? Like, is this fluke or is this for real?
Mm-hmm.
That's really where I'm standing with it. Like, we don't need to continue to keep rehashing the past. I mean, I can't stop thinking about the TCU loss. Like, that's really where I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like where I'm at with it personally. Like, if we are who we say we are, if we turn the clocks back, turn into what we used to be in the early 2000s and late 90s. We should just be on to the next. Time to handle business.
I agree with you. I think we, not to shoot them any bail, but I think we do it to like poke a jab at Ohio. But but it really is. I mean, let's just speak quite frankly, not quite yet, but it's entering the little brother territory of MSU where I got to see the goddamn punt once a week. It's like, okay, yeah, that was cool for a year. Even like the week of the game where we're playing each other, you can bring it up. But if it's the middle of fucking March, I shouldn't be seeing this play from a football game from 5 years ago. Like,
it's always something. Yeah,
I agree with
and
you.
It's like forced too. It's it's been 1,500 days since since Ohio State beat us last. It's like, I mean, let's go ahead and add another 365 to it and just keep it pushing. Let's 100%.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, in sports, in business, it's a "what have you done for me lately" type of world. And that all starts this week.
100%.
Let's see Donovan Edwards break some ankles this week and get one versus East Carolina. Let's see JJ break the Michigan record with 5 touchdown passes. Like, let's see some crazy shit and get the momentum.
Set the tone.
Yeah, set the tone for what we have going here. So I agree.
More prediction.
All right, I'll jump out the window first here.
Go ahead.
Ooh, you scared me a little bit, but I'm gonna go. I do want to say some crazy shit, but I'm gonna go. We'll go 58-10.
Okay. So I'm gonna share with you now what I said before we jumped on what I was gonna share. So I saw that NC State or East Carolina has beat NC State 3 times. Now, granted, before I say this, we not NC State, we not North Carolina, we not Virginia Tech, at least at this point in time. But that's being said, this is like a mid-major. I think they're in like the AAC, not a Power 5, but they're still finding a way to have beat, NC State 3 times since 2014. North Carolina like 2 to 3 times since like 2017. They got Virginia Tech 2-3 times since 2014. Now, granted, I know those are powerhouses, but like they definitely know a little bit what they're doing, over there. But that being said, I think I'm leaning more of like the probably like in the like 51-14. But that's what it should be. I think that's like the ceiling. I think the floor would be probably like a like whatever the what was the score like that USC game? Like I think they end up scoring like 3 touchdowns to get a field goal, and it's like 50 to like 24. It's like, all right, like
yeah.
There's some playing around going on. If it start, you know what I'm saying? If they like, but even saying that, like how that score was USC, they got some real issues on their defense. So, but I feel like 55, 51, 55, 14, something in that range.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I like the floor ceiling idea because I do think maybe not, but maybe there's a chance that there's a bit of a hiccup. You got some things to work through. Maybe some slight communication errors because Harbaugh ain't there. I don't know what may happen, but I agree with you. I think we gotta
clock management.
I hope not.
Yeah. One thing too is kind of interesting though this year, just to kind of share this on the way out. They're not stopping the clock at first downs anymore. So they're doing how the NFL does. So I think they stop it like at 2-minute warnings at the end of each half. So that's something to also just kind of keep in mind as things start to transpire.
That'd change
What's our advantage?
Yeah. That'd change up some people's schemes, as far as just the dinking and dunking.
We'll have the ball whole first quarter in some of these games, depending how it turned out. But yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's going to change the China possessions. That's big,
crazy,
big. Yeah, 100%. You got anything else for the peoples?
That's all I got, man. Go Blue. I'm glad football season's back here. We'll be back with y'all next week to talk the results and to also dive into the Lions as the NFL season be kicking off.
Yes, sir. Go Blue.